Hi, this is State Representative Carl Von Epps. I want to wish everybody a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. May God continue to bless each of you.
Welcome to City Week, ladies and gentlemen. Today I have guests on from Keep Troop Beautiful. I have on the chairman, Mr. Howard Mingo, and also the executive director, Doris Jefferson. Welcome both of you all to the show.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for having us.
Well, you know, Doris, you and I have been around for a while, and we've done a couple of great projects in the City of LaGrange.
Yes, we
and
have.
Howard, I've been with you now. You out at Walmart Distribution Center. We've had a great number of events there over at LaGrange Field, and just a number of events that we've been a part of. But today we want to talk about something that's coming up after Christmas. But before we jump into that, let's talk a little bit about Keep Troop Beautiful for us. Doris, tell us what is Keep Troop Beautiful all about.
Keep Troop Beautiful, it's a 501c3 organization.
Okay.
And we have a focus and a mission of litter prevention, beautification, waste management, and recycling in Troop County. These are very important, and those are our main focus of what we try to do. We try to educate people on these particular focus areas. And of course, you know, we've been in existence. We're celebrating our 20th year this year.
Congratulations.
Well, thank you. And we've been in existence since 1992. And of course, when we were officially made an affiliate of Keep America Beautiful, it was known as Troop Clean and Beautiful. And some people still recognize that name. However, our name actually changed in 1999. So, but we are very pleased to be a part of your program this morning to tell you about some of our projects.
Well, very good. And Howard, I know that you're the chairman now, and I know that you've been in the position now about a year now, I believe it is?
Yes, just under a year.
Talk about your experience there.
Well, we like to say, if you keep in mind the 3 R's, you'll know what we're about. We reduce, reuse, and recycle. We try to certainly work with the schools because we think our children are folks who will get their parents started on doing some of these things. Hey, Dad, don't throw that away. That can be recycled. That could be reused. That can be compost. That could be reduced. So we try to work with the schools, educate the children, because we think that our projects, we know we can't do it by ourselves. It's everyone's responsibility to not only join us when we clean up and when we have events, but just in their everyday lives to keep it in mind that Troop County will not be beautiful without their efforts.
Absolutely. You know, you're talking about that. I know we've worked together with the Cans for Cash for a number of years, and you know, you're talking about getting the kids involved. The kids get all excited about it, and they get the parents excited about it. And I know that's been the gist of why we've been so successful in our Cans for Cash campaign over the last 3-4 years.
I think so too.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Well, let's talk about, and I know that there are a number of programs, and both of you all mentioned and talking about the school, we're talking about the kids. Talk about some of the programs and other things that the Keep Troop Beautiful get involved with, Doris.
Okay, we almost have an activity every month. When you sit down and think about it, we have basically something that we can offer the community just about every month of the year. Of course, the one that we have, the earliest one, and the one that's coming up next week, which is after Christmas, is our Bring One for the Chipper and Electronic Recycling. Okay. And that will be on the 29th, on December 29th, and for the City of LaGrange, it will be over at the Home Depot. Oh, right. And of course, in Hogansville, there will also be a drop-off site there, and in West Point at the Recycling Center in West Point. But some of the other things that we do, of course, is the big bring. My mind just dropped. The J.R. Lewis Pride Award,
all right.
And we've just presented those awards for this year, just recently at the Board of Education meeting. And America Recycles Day, which we did in October-November time frame, and that was it was really a success this year because we did 2 big projects with that. We partnered with Habitat for one, and then we also did recycling art contest, and it was held at the library, and very successful. We were just very thrilled with all of the activity that the schools participated, the young people in that. Some fantastic pieces of art, which were, we recognized the young people for their artwork. And so we almost have something going every month. And then, of course, the big Great American Cleanup that we do in April every year.
Okay.
And that goes on from March through May. So we get about 3,000 people involved in that activity every year. Not all at one time, of course, because some people can't do it at the same time as other people. But you know, they're doing something in the community. They are interested in their community, where they live, and they take the time to clean up their area. And so we actually have about 3,000 people participating.
Very good, very good. And I know that over the years, you know, of course, the Great American Cleanup and the West Point Lake have kind of collaborated together to make sure that people understand the importance of keeping not only our lakes and our, you know, thoroughfares and just Troup County as a whole, the City of LaGrange, West Point, Hoganville is so important. Let me ask you, Howard, being the chairman and also working at the distribution center there, why is it so important for you or Walmart to be involved in efforts of this nature?
Well, we think it's the right thing to do, first of all. We have worked with our vendors, which are many, to reduce the amount of packaging they use on a lot of their products. That does several things. Of course, it means that there's a lot less to throw away, but most people don't realize that means there's a lot less to put into a truck, which means instead of using 3 trucks on a particular item, maybe we're only going to use 2 or 1. That puts less trucks on the road, less carbon monoxide coming out of these trucks and going into the atmosphere. So we reduce it by several different ways. We have asked our drivers to go particular routes that are lean routes, and they are safe and lean, but that means they don't drive extra miles to get to somewhere, so that also reduces. So we do a lot of different things, and we try to be 100% recyclable in our stores. We make cardboard sandwiches, we call them, out of all the cardboard that we have, and it's actually recycled and reused. So there's several things to do with that, because we really think our mission is to save people money so they can live better. And we do that by reducing our cost and reducing our carbon footprint, and we pass that savings on to the customer.
Very good, and you know, all very good points, because I know, you know, everybody's talking about, you know, go green and everything, which is, I think, is a great principle and concept that we have, because, you know, even when someone gets an email that says, think twice before you print this email off, because if we, you know, I remember my brother coming to my home one day and I was tossing an aluminum can away, and he kind of grabbed it and said, man, save that can, save a future for my son. And you know, that's, you know, how it gets started, and then one tells another and tells another, and then next thing you know, we're just reusing those things, you know, infinitely. Well, in talking about reusing things, you all have a program that's coming up called Bring One to the Chipper here, that will be taking place after Christmas, and Doris, you touched on it a moment ago, and it's going to be happening out at the Home Depot. Talk a little bit about that for us, Howard, if you don't mind.
Well, right after Christmas, we ask that you bring what was once your live Christmas tree, take the ornaments off, and we'll have a spot at Home Depot here in LaGrange where you can drop it off, and on the 29th is when we will end that, and we will actually be there along with some baseball players from Troup High School. Coach Gardner always allows us to use his players there, so we really appreciate that. And anyone who has electronics, Christmas, you usually get something new, and if you have something old that you want it to be recycled properly, bring it there to Home Depot parking lot between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. and we will take that and we will recycle it for you properly. We do not take TVs. So bring anything electronically but TVs. Okay. And we'll dispose of them properly. Now, we have a recycle center in West Point, so they have their recycle area for the trees, and a maintenance department on Leakin Street in Hogansville. So they'll have their own area too. But here in LaGrange, we want to go to the Home Depot parking lot. We'll have signs out there, pile your Christmas trees up. That next week the city will come, they will mulch them, and they will use them in the city or wherever mulch is needed. A lot of times those trees are used in the lake My understanding is that fishermen use them and put them in different places in order to draw fish. So that's good too. So there's nothing wrong with that.
Absolutely.
Our trees we used to get between 300 and 500 trees, but I believe a lot of them are being used now, so we get less trees. But we can get as much as 8,000 or 9,000 pounds of electronics in that 4-hour period. So come on, bring your electronics, everything except TVs, and bring them to us, and we will dispose of them and recycle them properly.
Well, very good. Boy, that's a lot of tonnage of electronics, and I guess because it changes so rapidly, you buy a phone today and it's obsolete almost tomorrow.
That's
so
true.
people are upgrading so frequently, I guess. So that's Bring One to the Chipper. That's going to be taking place on December the 29th between 10 and 2 out at Home Depot. So definitely. Now, I remember once upon a time, Doris, we used to get the little seedlings. Do they have the seedlings anymore?
They are not available any longer. It's just like everything else. The Georgia Forestry Commission, they got to be very expensive for them to do. So we do not get those trees, but we will have something that we can say thank you with.
Okay.
For
Well, very
each
good.
person dropping something off on Saturday.
Very good. As we get ready to wrap up, let me ask, how can people that may be watching the show that have not been involved in a cleanup project, how can they get involved and help to clean up their community, Doris?
Well, the first thing they can do is they can call the Keep Troop Beautiful office, and that number, of course, is 706-884-9922. And we will certainly work with them in getting something set up for them to do a cleanup in their neighborhood. We're very happy to work with people to do a cleanup in their own neighborhoods.
Okay, well, very good. I know that we have adoptive sponsors as we get ready to close out. They can call you for that.
They can call for that.
As well. Okay. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank both of you all for coming on and sharing this information. Look forward to everybody bringing their tree out to the chipper.
We hope so.
And bringing their electronics, except televisions, bring those out as well. And let's make sure that we do our part in helping to keep Troop beautiful. So, Howard, I want to thank you. Doris, thank you always for coming on and sharing the information. And I want to wish both of you all a very Merry Christmas as well.
Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you all. Ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned. We'll be back for more City Week in just a moment.
Hi, this is State Senator Josh McCoon wishing you and your family a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Hi, this is State Representative Randy Nix. I want to wish you and your family a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year and tell you to remember, Jesus is the reason for the season.
Welcome back to City Week, ladies and gentlemen. Now I have a guest on from West Georgia Health System. I have the Director of Bariatric Control Services, Denise Blanton. Denise, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Well, it's a pleasure to sit down with you, and I think this is my first time meeting you, and you have a very interesting topic here that we want to talk about today.
It's very interesting, yes.
It is. You know, a lot of times when we're in the holiday mood and everything, and I guess a custom and hand in hand go along with that is eating.
Absolutely.
And sometimes we might try to overeat, right? So, but you work for bariatric control, and first of all, just talk about what is bariatric control, and we're talking about some other things here, okay?
Okay. Mainly, the Bariatric Services Department at the hospital follows the 3 procedures that we offer. We have gastric bypass as a surgical weight loss procedure. We have the gastric sleeve, and we have the gastric lap band procedure. So we offer 3 procedures for people seeking weight loss surgery, and our job is to get them through the process, provide a safe surgery and follow their outcomes and provide education and all of those things.
Okay. And you're talking about those various types of surgery that a person can undergo. You know, in talking with you before we came on, we want to talk a little bit about what makes a good candidate and for which one of the various types of surgeries there.
That is a great question. The surgeon can help the patient decide, and then it's really going to be up to the patient to decide which one they want. But the recommendations to be a surgical candidate to begin with, you would have to have a body mass index of 35 to 39 with a comorbidity. That could be anything from high blood pressure, high cholesterol, diabetes, polycystic ovary disease. There's a whole list of things that weight loss would help.
Okay.
Or it would be a candidate of a body mass index of 40 or greater without a comorbidity. But once they're determined as they meet the criteria, then they have to, like you said, pick which one is going to be the right one for them. We do ask patients what weight loss they expect and how much they want to lose, because with a lap band procedure, the statistics show an average of 40 to maybe 50% at the most of excess weight loss. So if a person had 100 pounds of excess weight and they wanted to lose that 100 pounds, the lap band would probably only provide them half their goal.
Okay. And let me ask you, because we're talking about lap band, and I know most people that may have gone through this procedure might know what a lap band is, but just describe what is a lap band for us.
It's actually a band, and there's a picture on our website.
Okay.
If they want to go to westgeorgiahealth.org and go to weight loss, surgery, or bariatrics, they'll see the different types of procedures, and they'll see the picture of the band, a description. The band actually is like a band that is going to be placed right around the stomach.
Okay.
And it can be adjusted. The doctor will either add or remove saline to the band to make it tighter or loosen it up, depending on what the patient needs. And it's about a 2 or 3 year weight loss surgery, because, not the surgery itself, but the weight loss, because it is a slower weight loss than the other 2 procedures that we offer, because it is only restrictive, and so it is a little bit slower.
So basically, you're kind of squeezing off the stomach so it doesn't allow as much food to enter in?
Correct.
Okay.
The average stomach right now, holds 32 to 40 ounces. Each time you eat, you can hold that much between fluids and meals. Once you have the band placed around the stomach, it's only going to hold about 3 ounces. So it's a dramatic difference in how much food you can consume.
Okay. So basically, when you bring a person in or they come in, so you ask them what their expectations are, and based on their expectations and the other things that you were talking about as far as BMI and other
comorbidities.
Yes. Okay. And then you describe to them the various types, and then they kind of select, I guess.
And the doctor will probably steer them a certain way and give them recommendations based on their comorbidities. If a patient has something like diabetes, the doctor may want to be more aggressive than the band, and the surgeon may think that the patient's more appropriate for the gastric sleeve or the gastric bypass. And the reason for that is that those procedures offer a greater loss of excess body weight. The gastric sleeve, which is also on the website, is where they have gone in and surgically removed 70 to 80% of the stomach. And in the outer part of the stomach, there is a hunger hormone that's produced in the fundus of the stomach called ghrelin. And once you decrease the ghrelin production by removing that part of the stomach, that helps with appetite control. So not only do you have the restriction that you get from the band, which is a stomach that holds maybe about 4 ounces. They call it the sleeve because it's a tube once they're finished. But then you also have the physiological changes and the decrease in the hunger hormone, which make this one a little more aggressive than the band as far as weight loss. So the estimation would be 70 to 80% of excess body weight rather than 40 to 50.
Okay. And then when the person goes through these various surgeries here that you're describing, Denise, let's say, for example, the gastric sleeve, of course, let's say they want to lose 100 pounds or whatever the case may be. They lose that weight by eating less. Now, the body fat itself, how do they get rid of that, if I may ask? How, exercise, or what is the...
Well, the body will metabolize the body fat. What we are most concerned about is maintaining muscle tissue. So exercise is definitely the only way to maintain that muscle tissue. So for people who exercise, they'll have more muscle mass, which means they'll burn more calories, period, which you would if you didn't have the surgery. For every pound of muscle you have the ability to burn an extra 35 to 50 calories a day just sitting. So a person with 10 pounds more muscle would burn 300 or 500 extra calories a day. So muscle itself is fat burning or calorie burning, but the body will metabolize the excess body fat, but it'll be the patient's job to maintain that muscle tissue through
Right.
exercise. And also there is a diet that I teach for the patients. I'll take them through a progression of, you know, what to do to prepare pre-op, what their diet should look like 2 weeks out, 4 weeks out, then 6 weeks out, and then, you know, for life,
Okay.
so that they can maintain their nutrition status. And protein is a major part of that. So I go over the protein part, and that will help to maintain their muscle tissue also.
Very good. In the protein, I know even, you know, me, I try to go and work out a little bit myself. And they talk about the importance of protein, especially in men, I think, well, in all individuals, but protein is so important because it helps to build that muscle tissue, I understand, correct?
It's not necessarily a building nutrient, but yet it will help to maintain that muscle tissue and keep your body from pulling energy from muscle
Okay.
when you're taking in less energy.
Okay, very good. Well, you know, and you're talking about, you know, the lap band, you got the gastric sleeve, and you also have the gastric bypass there. If somebody was interested in going, and I know you mentioned the website, give them your website address.
Website is wghealth.org, and when you go to the hospital website, you would either look for weight loss surgery tab or the bariatric tab to navigate to this information. And then from there, you can actually go to the different surgeon websites. You can click on, there's pictures of the surgeons, description of their qualifications. You can click onto their websites and go to their individual ones. Both of the surgeons, Dr. Wesley Turton and Dr. Charles Ferguson, offer seminars that are free to the public. They can navigate the website to find out when those are offered. Dr. Ferguson is typically a Tuesday night at the cancer clinic, and Dr. Turton is typically Thursday night at the cancer clinic. Both of those they're both in LaGrange once a month, and they do go to other areas to do seminars, but that's where they have them in LaGrange.
Okay.
And they will probably spend an hour just describing the procedures, the risks, the benefits, you know, who's a candidate, what to expect, and then there's always the question and answer session so that you can have all of your questions answered.
Very good. You know, this is an exciting and interesting topic, you know, especially if someone has attempted to lose weight, and just hadn't been successful. You have now, you know, procedures that can help to assist with that. Let me just ask, because I know a lot of them may be wondering, how much of this, Bonnie or Denise, is actually covered under the insurance, or if any of it's covered under insurance?
There are a lot of major insurance companies that cover the procedure, but what it actually comes down to is the employer. You know, there are certain companies that have selected to include bariatric surgery in their policies, and then there are some employers that have chosen to exclude it. So, like at the hospital, we have Blue Cross Blue Shield, and our patients or our employees have access to the surgery because our employer chose to include it in our package. But there could be a company out there that has Blue Cross Blue Shield, but their employer chose not to include it. So you really have to go to your human resources department or go to your policy and see, is that something that my employer has included? But it, you know, across the board, it is covered by the major insurance companies: Blue Cross Blue Shield, United Healthcare, Cigna, Aetna. I mean, it is covered. But the question is, did my employer pick it? So is it on your individual policy? And we can actually help you with that. After the seminar, a lot of people will turn in information and turn in insurance information, and then the surgeon's office can call them back and say, yes, your insurance policy does cover it, or no, it does not.
Okay.
And if it doesn't, there have been some folks that have chosen to self-pay for the procedure, and the hospital does offer a discount for those folks who do not have insurance coverage.
Very interesting, you know, just to be able to attend one of the seminars to get more information in reference to it. Like I say, you know, it's great. I know nothing beats exercise, but when exercise is not giving you the results that you necessarily want, then it's good to know that we have other means or procedures that can help individuals to lose weight. Because I think if you lose weight, you're healthier, it goes to the bottom line, your insurance coverage as well.
Yes, insurance companies do benefit in the long run because the outcomes show, like I said, you know, depending on which procedure you have, an average of 70 to 80% of excess weight loss, which when you resolve diabetes, you're resolving complications, medications, same thing with high cholesterol, high blood pressure. You're decreasing the risk of stroke and heart attack and neuropathy, and I mean we can go on and on and on.
Absolutely.
So yes, it's definitely a great benefit. And for folks that don't meet the criteria and they do have diabetes, I mean the hospital has a whole other diabetes self-management program that they can go through for that. So not everybody with diabetes has a body mass index of 35, but we do see that most people with diabetes, probably about 80%, do have that high body mass index.
Well, Denise, this is very interesting information here today, and our time just goes by so quickly.
Oh, okay.
Absolutely. I tell you what we want to do. I want to try to get you guys back on a little bit later on and come back and talk a little bit more about some of these procedures and stuff of that nature.
Absolutely.
But in the meantime, we want folks to go out to the website if they have questions about it. I want to thank you very much, Denise, for coming on the show today.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned. We're back for more City Week in just a moment. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining for City Week this week. My guests have been from Keep Troop Beautiful. We had the chairman, Mr. Howard Mingo, along with the executive director, Doris Jefferson, as they talk about Bring One to the Chipper that will be taking place after Christmas. So we will make sure that you bring out your tree and also your electronics out to the Home Depot on December 29th. And ladies and gentlemen, we also had on from the West Georgia Health System, we had Denise Blanton, the Director of Bariatrics Control Services, and she talked about the methods to help individuals that want to lose weight when diet and exercise just hadn't worked. So ladies and gentlemen, take advantage of the website information that she gave you. Go out there and take a look at it. I want to thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining for City Week this week. And as always, I want to invite you back for more of City Week.